Hi, and welcome to this small taster session for A-Level and BTEC Business at New College Swindon. What we're going to look at today is we are going to look at the role of advertising in marketing and in business in general, and how far it can and can't go. So first thing we're going to look at is whether or not we feel that advertising should be able to say and claim what they want. As we would expect, the obvious answer to that is no, isn't it? But what it is and what isn't acceptable is very subjective, meaning that some people, what's acceptable to and fine to some won't be to others. And so we need to look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these next three clips, and I want you to be the judge, if you like, and as to whether these ads are acceptable and whether they should be shown on TV or not. So without further ado, I'm going to play the first one, which is an ad for Paddy Power, one of the national betting chains. Let's see what we think about this one then. Bear with me a second. Okay, I'll play this and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys, so based on that ad then, simple question. Should the ad be banned? Obviously, some people might think that. Should the ad be changed to make it a little bit more suitable, or was the ad fine to run as it was? So take a couple of seconds and decide now. And if you like, use a traffic light system. So red for banned, orange, amber for change to make it more suitable, or green for it to be allowed to run as it is. Okay, so how are we doing there? Have we all got a decision? Okay, let's have a look at this then. So, as we can see, 1,089 people objected to that advert. Why do we think that was? Well, could it be for the cat, showing cruelty to the cat? Or could it be because it was potentially mocking people with disabilities? Or could it be because it was to do with gambling? Well, just so you know, the ad was allowed to stand. And the reason for that is the ruling was that it didn't show cruelty to animals because you didn't actually see the cat being kicked. It was also seen as being so ridiculous that it would never actually happen, which I think is a fair point. And then lastly, the people that you saw playing football there were actually the England blind and partially sighted Paralympic football team. And so they were very happy and they thought it was a great ad, very funny. And they also liked the fact that it promoted a minority sport. And so they thought that ad was absolutely fine. So if you said amber or you said red that it should be banned, just think about that ruling and see if that changes your mind. Okay. So the second one, we're going to move on to the second one now, which is an ad. We're coming up to Christmas now, so this is a type of ad you might well see on your TVs again, or something like this. Anyway, here we go. Bear with me a second. Okay, guys, so similar to that one then, similar to the first ad, should it be banned, changed to make it more suitable? or be allowed to run as it is. Okay, so I'll take a couple of seconds to weigh up the pros and cons of that and then decide. And then let's see where we ended up. Okay. Well, not surprisingly, only 14 people objected to this advert. It's fairly obvious why. Okay, but then the ruling was that it was allowed to stand. The ad was fine, and the reasons for that are it didn't show full nudity. Okay, it was suggested, didn't it? But it wasn't there. Okay, it was designed to be shown during music programs, and that's when most of the slots were bought. And those, as we know, music programs quite often have content which is a lot more racy than that. Okay, and in the context of perfume ads as well, it wasn't very overly suggestive at all. It was fairly as you would expect for an ad of that kind. But it was banned from being shown before 7:30 p.m. In the evening when young children might be around. Okay, well done. So we're going to move on to our last ad then, and we'll have a look at this and see what you think about this one. This one is a charity ad, and they use shock tactics for charity ads. So let's have a look at this and see what we think about this one. Okay, so a totally different kind of ad there. Again, looking at that ad, should it be banned, be changed to make it more suitable, or be allowed to run as it is? Okay, take a few moments to decide, and then we'll run through what happened with that ad. Okay, so this one, 477 people just objected to the advert. Okay, interesting point here is that twice as many people objected to the cruelty towards the cat advert with Paddy Power, the first one. So does that say something about us as a society, that more people are concerned about the protection of cats than they are the protection of young people? No, you can discuss that. But anyway, the ruling for this ad was that it was allowed to stand because it was shown after the 9 p.m. watershed. So it was when vulnerable children, etc., or children, I should say, have gone to bed. It was not shown during programs such as The X Factor that attracts young viewers. It said, this is a contentious point, it says that the levels of violence and drug taking were minimised. I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't think they were minimised, but they claimed they were. And this is the key point, that the content needed to raise awareness of domestic child abuse, which, like I said in the preface to this ad, it's charities use shock tactics. That's the whole point. That's how they get people to raise awareness and then donate to the charities and support the charities, etc., by using shock tactics. So that one was, as you can see, quite a graphic ad, wasn't it? Okay, so again, did you agree with that ruling, or did you think it should have been changed or anything? Okay, well, thanks for looking at those three ads. Essentially, what the ethos of this, or what the purpose of this little presentation is to know that when we study marketing in business, we look at all aspects of marketing. So we look at all of the areas of the marketing mix: promotion, what's allowed there; advertising, what's allowed there. We look at pricing, what's ethical there and what isn't in terms of price discrimination and that type of thing; distribution, all sorts. Okay, so we look at what's ethical and what isn't in marketing. So last thing for you guys to do then is little activity. Do a little bit of research on the ASA, which is the Advertising Standards Authority, and see what their role in advertising is, and also what powers they have. So were they able to do anything to affect the changes in these ads if you thought that changes were needed, or are they simply an advisory body? How much influence do they have in advertising, essentially? And have a look at that, and then that will stand you in good stead for when we look at advertising, when you start to look at business, either in BTEC business or A-level business. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this little interlude into advertising in business and what the type of things that we study in business, both A-level and BTEC. If you have any questions, then please contact the college, ask to be put through to one of the business lecturers, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.